All right, so you want a heated steering wheel in your 22 and up Tundra, but you do not have it. So we're going to go over the process of getting that installed today. You're going to need the main components. You're going to need the steering wheel, a heated steering wheel. The heated steering wheel part number, if you can see there, 864A108020. That is going to be the part number of the heated steering wheel that has the heated component in it. You're also going to need the steering wheel switch. I got this one used. I will put a link in the description for this one. Now, I've read online that all these Tundras are pre-wired for this, but I've also read that they're not. I'm not sure if mine is or not. Mine is in SR5, not the base model, but certainly not a high trim model. And I believe mine is. I'm going to show you why. In order to put the switch in, the switch is going to belong here. You have to take this panel off. Now, I'm using a tool we call the Superman's fingernail, but they make plastic tools for this as well. If you have to use a flathead screwdriver, make sure to wrap it in electrical tape so you don't damage anything. So we're going to put it up here in the corner. I'm going to pry down a little bit, and you're going to see, there you go, popped right out. You may have to do it one or two more times. And if I look in the back, so the switch is going to go underneath the stop-start button. So it's going to go right here. So when I pull this back, I see that there is a plug there that's going to be, oh, I hope you can see it. You probably can't. It's this one, this guy right here. So I'm going to disconnect all these, and I'm going to assume that this is pre-wired, so we're going to give it a shot. We're going to put all this on. There's a chance that I did all this for naught, but we're going to give it a whirl. Now, the reason I think this is going to work, I'm going to show you. I'm going to plug the switch in. If I turn the ignition on, switch lights up. So I think we are pre-wired. So we're going to go over the process of removing the blank and getting the switch installed. I'm going to flip this over. There's going to be this guy right here. There are these little wings on the side. They have to be pushed in order to push out the blank. It comes out from the front. So I'm going to, a little bit of force from my thumb, push down while I try to tuck one of those wings in. One's in, and then the other one in, and it just drops right out. So you can see the little wings. Where is it? There's one right here, one right here, and these are the ones that have to be moved and pushed inwards. The new switch, simple as can be, make sure it's face up, snaps right in, and we're done. Now to put it back. When you're done with that, plug everything back in, and our switch panel simply pushes straight in. That's it. Double check all these work. I actually didn't plug one in correctly. I plugged it into a blank and it wasn't working, so double check all that. We are good. Onto the steering wheel. Before I go ahead and rip the airbag out, I wanted to make sure that I do so safely following Toyota's steps. Precaution for disconnecting battery terminal. This one says to disconnect the battery and wait for 60 seconds. The SRS is equipped with a backup power source. If work is started within 60 seconds of disconnecting the cable from the negative battery terminal, SRS parts may deploy, which we don't want. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. And this is going to be an interesting steering wheel to remove, so I'm assuming it's going to take us more than 60 seconds. We'll see. Now, before I go ahead and pull this airbag off, I'm going to show you the process of it on the new steering wheel. It's going to be a lot easier for you guys to practice this on the new wheel before you go attempt it on your own truck, because part of it you're doing blind, and I'm going to show you. So there are three components that hold the airbag in place, and they're all just little clips. There's going to be one here, one over here, and there's going to be one down here as well. You're also going to see on the side of your steering wheel a very small hole. I'm going to guess 1/4 inch, a little bit less, 3/16. So I am using a small flathead screwdriver, and I'm going to keep the blade up, so up against the wheel like this. We're going to come in that hole right on a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to start to weasel it through if I can get her in there. Okay, you can see the screwdriver starting to sort of poke through. If I continue pushing forward, I'm going to actually contact that spring, and that spring is going to move. Now you have to move that spring inwards, and that's going to release the airbag. So you have to do, so you're going to have to release one side, sort of pick the airbag up a little bit, just kind of catch it with your fingers and move on to the other side. Now you're doing this totally blind while you're in the car, so it's actually really tricky. So right now I have both released. You know, you can't see that. You just have to put it in like this. You have to make sure you are on a 45-degree angle. We'll get it started here. It goes in just like that. Once you have the two tabs released, you're going to see the airbag start to get a little bit floppy. You're going to want to come around the back. There's two screws that hold the trim piece in here. I don't know what I did with it. Oh yeah, it's this guy right here. I'm going to remove these two screws, and then this piece will pop off, and you're going to see the remaining airbag retainer. And I'm going to pry this guy the right way, wherever that is. How am I doing this? I'm going to push up right here. Doink! Oh, and it just moved. And cool. Now that we've got the airbag hanging down, our battery's been disconnected for a little while, we have to remove the airbag connectors. So they have this little orange tab here, and I'm using a smaller screwdriver than before. It's a little bit smaller, and these are quite easy to come off, but you got to know how to do it. So I'm going to stick the screwdriver up right in between the orange and the yellow, and then I'm going to get underneath it, and it's going to pop right off. So that's one. That is two. They are color-coded, so you can't possibly screw it up. Put them back on. And then we have a ground connection right here, which come on. There we go. It's off. Then I'm going to remove this. This is a silly little standoff that keeps the wires in place. Can I do this one easy? Please be nice to me. Please be nice to me. It doesn't want to be nice to me. Okay. Anyway, you're going to want to push this little tab in, and the airbag's going to come off. And then you're disconnected. All right, we are almost there. Before we get the steering wheel off, we want to make sure it is perfectly centered, best you can. These steering wheels are not, they are splined, but they are not indexed. So I could install the steering wheel this way, or this way, or this way, and it will still fit. So when you install the new steering wheel, you have to make sure it is perfectly centered, or your wheel's going to be crooked when you drive. If you do that, you're going to have to pull the airbag again and clock the steering wheel and put it back in place. So there's one last connector in here. Is this little white guy right here. You want to push this pin in, pull it up. Much easier with two hands, but here we go. Now our steering wheel is centered to the best of my ability, and I'm going to take the last thing holding it on should be this center hex, which is a 10 millimeter. Once this bolt comes off, we're about there. All right. And we can see Toyota wasn't nice enough to leave an indexing mark to let you know exactly where the top of the steering shaft is. So we have to do this by eyeball, and we want to make sure we do it right. Once that bolt's off, it's really as easy as pulling the wires through. They did leave, if you look in service information, it says you're to install a puller here and sort of force the steering wheel off the shaft, but all the videos that I've seen in my own experience, it basically just fell right off. Now we got our wheel off. new one. I'll drop something. Okay, so I'm going to try and snake the wires for the airbag through again. Come on. All right. To get our white connector back up and through. Airbag wires are in the way. Now, before I put the steering wheel totally on the shaft, again, I want to make sure that I have it centered. So, put these guys out of the way again. Make sure our steering wheel is clocked perfectly. And push it in, and it should lock itself in place. And I think I'm good. Or maybe not. Now I think I'm good. Cool. Now that we're in place, we can tighten our steering wheel bolt back on. Factory torque spec is 46 foot-pounds according to all data. That should be good. And now we can make our connections on the airbag. I'm going to do this off camera. Put all of our connections back on, and it's just going to snap into place. Just going to kind of, and go right in. I figured I'd show you one more thing. We have our ground connection, the wire standoff, and now that these connectors are both in, you want to make sure that you do press the orange clips back in. And we're going to line it back up, and I should just give this a snap and it's in. We are good. We can put these screws back up in here along with that bracket, and that should do it. All right, now the moment of truth. The light is on. I have no lights on the dashboard whatsoever, meaning I got everything connected back together correctly. I'm going to show you guys. Here's my thermal camera, and we can see the exterior of the wheel. You can actually see the heating element in it. Pretty cool. We're looking at about 87, 105 degrees, 106. This is nice and toasty. So this worked. I wish the steering wheel I got wasn't so beat up, but I'm happy to have this. So mine worked. I hope yours is pre-wired too. Again, I would check behind here to make sure you have the connector behind this button. Doesn't seem to be any documentation whether or not every truck has it or not, just some people guessing. So anyway, good luck to you.